This IndyCar 2026 season win totals edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting until I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez. As we inch ever closer to 2026, we come to you with the penultimate, which is our new favorite word, right? Episode of the 2025 season, Cody, the 2025 year, I guess. And no better way to do it than to talk IndyCar, question mark? Come on, books. Let's get on this.
Well, we love us some IndyCar, so glad we have IndyCar win totals to talk about. That's nice of the books to give us those as we continue to wait for NASCAR ones. I'm going into 2026 with a very positive mindset, Rod. I think when we come back next week, we're going to have a full slate. We're going to have win totals. We're going to have season head-to-heads. We're going to have an announcement of the playoff format or championship format for NASCAR. It's going to fill us all in, and we're going to have so many things to talk about before the season starts that we're not even going to know how to fill the time because there's going to be so much. So that's what I'm looking forward to. But I am looking forward to talking some IndyCar today. We always have a ton of fun, and hey, these futures are always fun, right? It's fun to throw these tickets out there and come back in a bunch of months from down the road and be like, oh damn, I nailed that, or wow, that didn't go quite how I thought it would, right? So I could go either way, but great parlay pieces. As you're building parlays, you toss in these, and you have them later on to add a much bigger number, which is always a lot of fun. So, looking forward to talking IndyCar.
I do like the way you think, though. Positivity will be the catchphrase for 2026.
I think we already have a catchphrase, Rod, but
we do.
It's make racing. I got to get it straight. It's make racing. Make what? I forgot already.
Well, it's make.
I came up with it and I forgot it. Oh, damn it.
Well, did we say it's make NASCAR gambling fun again? Is that what
something like that? Yeah.
Motorsports gambling fun again.
Racing setting. I think it was NASCAR, but whatever.
Justin checking in. Alrighty, nation. This isn't NASCAR. We know.
Well, there is a lot of NASCAR ties to IndyCar throughout history, which is great. And again, staying still with the books for NASCAR stuff. It's kind of we're to the point where it's like, man, but by this time last year, we'd already had win totals out. We had season-long head-to-heads. We had O'Reilly and Truck Series championship stuff. We had Final Four. Obviously, they can't put those out because they don't know the format. But who would make the Final Four? That type of stuff. We had all that stuff to talk about, and right now we don't. The books are ahead of the game on the IndyCar stuff here. Obviously, their season's been over quite a bit longer than both F1 and NASCAR has. So I'll give them that, right? But with football ending this week as far as the regular season, I'm sure that will open up some of the people over there at the places to get things out there, and that's kind of the hope. But Yeah, hey, IndyCar to fill in the time. We do have another NASCAR episode on tap for you tomorrow. Just kind of a year in review thing to finish out the 2025 season. That seems like the 2025 year, rather. Seems like a good way to go about it.
I feel like it is. Close the chapter on one and open up a chapter on another when we come back for the new year. But you don't have to miss out on anything while we're gone, because you can get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place. Where is that, you may ask? It's the SGPN app. Go download it for free right now in the App Store. All you got to do, get those little fingers, type in SGPN. All right. So like you said, Cody, we are going to be talking about IndyCar, but one kind of housekeeping note to update you on the situation that happened yesterday with Denny Hamlin and his family. Unfortunately, we did learn, if you aren't necessarily up to speed on the specifics, but we did learn that Denny's father, Dennis, was the gentleman, or was the casualty from that fire. His mom is also now battling some life-threatening injuries. So as we said yesterday, I mean, again, it's just a matter of, thoughts and prayers with Denny right now and his entire family. Probably don't expect to hear anything from him in the near future. I got to tell you, I'm if that were me, I'd be completely wrecked. There's no way on God's green earth I'd want to talk to anybody for a while. So just keep them in your thoughts, keep the family in your thoughts, as this is it's a bad situation turned even worse as we kind of end the year.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, obviously, but just a horrible situation overall. A complete, the house is gone, right? Everything is gone. And he's lost his father now, and his father was sick. So I don't, that doesn't make it better, right? It's still, you think you've got days still, or months or weeks or however long with them, obviously looking back, this makes that 60th win so special. His parents really did sacrifice a lot when he was a kid. He didn't come from a ton of money. They took out loans and they sold things to help him achieve his dream, right? And they've been with him along that journey. 60 wins was always the big goal. He was able to do that. The emotions of winning that, knowing his father wouldn't be around much longer. Looking back, similar to a Ty Gibbs situation, he got to experience the championship with his father before he sadly lost him the very next day, right? And just, again, as if we don't need more reminders with how things have gone lately to hug your loved ones and enjoy every minute. This is yet another reminder of that. So sad deal overall. Thinking about his mother, Mary. She's got a long, long road ahead of her. Burn stuff is never good in any way, shape, or form. So definitely thinking about her, thinking about the Hamlin family. And again, thoughts and everything to her recovery, and hopefully she'll be able to pull through this and be stronger on the other side.
Just makes you want to embrace the positive moments even more fondly and kind of take them all into account. So as we do that, let us turn our attention to the topic of the day, which is the IndyCar 2026 season. We talked a little bit about the championship futures a few episodes ago. So if you want kind of a refresher, the driver changes, right? Some of the things that were going on over there in IndyCar, it is going to be kind of a shuffled up grid. There's some big names that are in new teams now, but the book, Caesars, is giving us 6 drivers to talk about in this particular day with their win totals. And I'll tell you right now, let's set the table real quick. All right. So in IndyCar, in NASCAR, we know that there's 36 races, right? There's 36 drivers. It's a big field. It's a big calendar, lots of races to fill it and lots of wins to go around. It's not the same with IndyCar, right? There are fewer drivers on the track at a time. There are fewer races. There's only 17 total races in the entire season. So when we talk about less than half the size, I guess would be the proper way to say that. Yeah. I'm still working on how to say things, Rod, and forming words. We're only 700 episodes into this thing, but yes, there's. I already forgot it. I don't know. I'll figure it out in 2026. I was gonna say at this point, Cody's like 2025's gone. So's the rest of my.
That's a 2026 problem, Rod.
You're already on vacation, and you know what? I don't blame you.
That's the problem. I'm headed for the mountains tomorrow, and that's the problem.
That is the problem. No, that's right. So yeah, there's only 17 races in the entire season. Again, fewer drivers at all that take the grid on a week-to-week basis. So wins are not as prevalent, and they don't go around as much, especially in a season like last season, where you had and will actually, we're not going to start with him, but you had one guy win.
Max Verstappen won all the races last year, Rod?
Max Verstappen won every race last year in the IndyCar series, and then came back and won some in the F1. But yeah, I mean the leading driver in the garage had 8 wins on the season. The next best person had 3, and then there was a handful with 1 win, and then 1 with 2. So, only let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers at all won a race last year.
Which actually, when there's only 17 races, that's a pretty good clip, especially when Palou won 8 of them, right? So he obviously hogged a majority of them. But yeah, getting 7 different drivers to win in only 17 races. Man, I wish IndyCar needs to lengthen their schedule. I know people hate, for whatever reason, people always want less races, I'm a more guy. Make the NFL 25 weeks, Rod. Give us more fantasy football. Make NASCAR, make it 62 races and race twice a week. They're getting paid a lot of money. I don't care. I want more.
By the way, congratulations to those of you who may have won a fantasy championship yesterday. There was several performances that might have lifted you to the championship. Bijan Robinson putting your team on his back, not yours specifically, but if you did, yeah, Puka Nacua.
I had
getting in the end zone.
My main dynasty league came down to the very end. I was projected to win by quite a bit, and then the Rams shot the bed yesterday, and luckily won by a couple points at the end of the day. So that was great. Rowdy Nation, unfortunately, he got the best of me in one of our championship leagues.
Well, there he is too. And they have a playoff format? Talking about IndyCar, no, they do not. And Rowdy Nation fixed his name. So thank you, Rowdy
Nation. Look at that. 17 races. Yeah, I guess that is important, right, for non-IndyCar people that are listening to this, as there might be some. It is the old traditional NASCAR points, essentially the same thing that F1 does. That's traditionally, that is the way that racing has done points systems. It's just the full season points, and that's it. And 17 races. Yet Alex Palou twice in the last couple of years has wrapped it up multiple races ahead of the final season, or ahead of the final race, just to kind of show you how dominant he has been in the IndyCar series.
Yeah, and so that, again, will factor into a lot of what we talk about as we start to break down these drivers. And let's do that. But before we do all that, I would like to formally introduce you to some of our friends we have just partnered up with, and that is Kalshi. We just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market. It's legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and so much more. Plus, you can even trade props like first TDs. Besides sports, though, they've got tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, you can even trade on the weather with Kalshi. You can trade anything. Don't believe me? How about you can trade on snow in Detroit this month? Above 10 inches is getting 77% of the action on the yes. Woo! Above 20 inches has got 2% right now on the yes. So if you are a firm believer that there will be snow in Detroit that you can pretty much just dive into and have a good time, that is yours. Or snow in New York City this month. They got 15 inches at 1% as well. If you're a speculator on the weather, that's a perfect place to put your money. New Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog's got you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You'll unwrap tons of promos throughout the holidays. Looking ahead at some of these NFL games that we got coming up this weekend, how about Bucky Irving? He's got his projection here is set at a half of a rushing touchdown and receiving touchdown. Tampa Bay needs this, right? They need this because they win the South. If they don't, if they lose, they don't get anywhere. So they're going to need this, and Bucky Irving's going to need to help them get there. So let's go ahead and give Bucky Irving a rushing touchdown or a receiving touchdown, shall we? Higher than is 1.04 times your entry. So grab that one and don't look back. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. Get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Speaking of Underdog, if you're interested in some Underdog playoff best ball stuff, I will be live on the Sports Gambling Podcast tonight. Thank you. Sports Gambling Podcast, the main show. That's going to be 4:00 your time over there on the Pacific Coast, Rod. So adjust for your time wherever you are. But we will be live drafting some playoff best ball stuff over there, which is going to be fun. I have to correct them on some Midwest stuff. They were trashing the state of Nebraska on the college football show this week. So I've got a bone to pick with them. And then they picked the Huskers, which bad idea. You should probably bet on Utah this weekend, or this week, but whatever.
Well, Colby is still a West Coast guy, even though he's on the East Coast. That's just the way it is.
Colby's an everybody guy, I think.
It's true. It's true. He comes from a land down under. So
he does.
All right. Listen, I would like to start with the second name on this list because we have a long conversation about the top guy that's on this list to be had. But I just want to start.
So I'd just like to, I'll throw out a proposition here. I know we have a long conversation on Mr. Palou, who you're referring to there, but do we need to establish his number of wins first so we know how many other wins we have to dole out, Rod?
That actually is a very good way to go about it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, to me, I feel like
we could save it. We'll save it.
Okay, we'll save it to the end. Because, again, look, there's 17 races, right? And so we know last year he won 8. So is that his ceiling? Is that his floor? Who knows? These guys, though, we can kind of talk about with some relative certainty about where we think they should be. And I think we begin with Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon, his projection his number is set at 1.5. The over juiced at -140. The under at +110. Obviously, Scott Dixon's still behind that 9 machine where he's been for years and years and years. 6-time IndyCar champion, Chip Ganassi Racing staple, won 3 races. He won 1 race last year, 3 podiums, and finished 3rd in the standings overall. The thing with Scott Dixon, though, is that he's won 58 races in his illustrious 23-year career. And last year was the first time since the 2022 season that 2021 season, that he didn't win multiple races, right? He's prone to win more than one, and he's done it in multiple seasons. So does he get back one of those wins from this last season? That's the question.
I mean, yeah, that is the question. So they've got the over pretty heavily juiced on this, -140. It's going to make it tough to bet, I think, based on the fact that, I mean, I don't know if you have his age in front of you, but he's getting up there, right? He's been around a long time, as you said, 23 seasons in IndyCar, whatever it is. I think he's a 6-time champion, the 58, 59 wins, whatever. He's been getting it done for a long time, and until last year, he'd been winning multiple per year. But last year, he only got 1. There's a couple of things to look at as we get into the win totals here. Palou won 8 races last year. Does he get back to 8? The number's set a lot lower than 8, just a teaser for you. 8 is a lot. That's the most he's ever won. Is it going to get that far? Probably not. So that's going to open up some stuff. But Penske, you look at how bad they were last year as an entire group. You got to think that they get some back. So where does that leave Dixon? Does that leave him with an opportunity to win some? He is getting older. Granted, he keeps putting in great performance after great performance. Stays on one of the best teams, right, with Chip Ganassi. And 3rd place in the point standings last year, just keeps getting it done year in and year out. It's hard to bet against him. But at the same time, you're getting the under at +110. That's what happened last year. Oh, boy, this is a pretty tough one because everything in me wants to say over. The number definitely says to go under. I don't know, Rod. How are you feeling on Mr. Dixon?
Well, and like I said, right, last year he only won 1 race, and that was contrary to what he did the year before that. In 2024, he won 2. 2023, he won 3. 2022, he won 2. 2021, he won 1. 2020, he won 4, and then 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2. Literally, he's only had just 1 win or less in 4, 5 seasons in that illustrious 6 seasons rather in that illustrious career of his. So if we're talking about the odds of him doing it, it's more likely he wins more than 1 race than he doesn't.
He's eventually, right? You got to think he's going to find the cliff that he starts to step over. When does that happen? And then I don't know, he is very good, right? He's the Joey Logano of IndyCar. stretching the fuel, winning the fuel mileage races. It seemed like IndyCar had less of those, just anecdotally, last year than maybe some of the previous years. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the under on this. You're getting the plus 110. Obviously, that's the more attractive side. I think we're getting closer to the end of Dixon. And you mentioned there's been 6 years where he has had one win. He did last year. Maybe he doesn't get to 2 anymore. Maybe we're getting to that point where we see him start to take a step back.
I'm going to go over on this one. I think I put faith in him that he'll get back there. I feel like we said, if we're talking statistically speaking and get it, right, your past performance doesn't always predict the future. But if you're hitting this at a rate that it's higher than most people, I'm going to go with the over on that one. And we'll say 2 wins out of 17 for Scott Dixon this year. Again, he's at the same team. It's the same. He's just too good of a driver to not have won more than one race last year. And like we said, we know Palou was hogging up all of the air last year, but I don't know that happens again this year. All right. Well, Cody, then I think we can talk about Kyle Kirkwood, who is the next driver on this list. Kyle Kirkwood, who had 3 wins last season, 3 podiums, 1 pole, finished 4th in the overall standings for Kyle Kirkwood. The projection for him is set at 2.5. The over is the extra spicy one at plus 110, and the under at minus 140. So Kyle Kirkwood with wins at Long Beach, wins at Detroit, wins at Gateway last season, but kind of ended the season a little bit rougher than he started, starting with Iowa, which was a 26th place finish there, 18th in the following race, 6th, 16th, 20th, 12th, and 6th for Kyle Kirkwood. So I guess the question is, Cody, is another 3-win season in the cards?
This is a very interesting one because Kirkwood has been on the come up the last couple of years, finally gets that first career win, right? And then busts out and has 3 this year. And we've seen this story in NASCAR before, right? You look at an Alex Bowman, gets the wins, and then 4 wins in 21, and then it tails way back off, right? So what trajectory does he go? The other key piece in this is Colton Herta has left Andretti and moved on to Formula 2, going to be an F1 reserve driver, right? Chasing that dream. So Will Power is sliding over into that 26 car. Yes, but really this kind of defaults Kirkwood rather into being the 1A driver for Andretti. I like Power is kind of a good second guy, but he's not going to be their top driver. So now he's the number 1 guy over there. I look at the under immediately because, boy, can he get back to 3 again? As I mentioned before, Penske is probably going to be back on, can't get much worse than it did for him last year. But the fact that he won on an oval, that's huge because IndyCar does have a fair amount of ovals. And there really is only a select number of guys that can win on the ovals, even more select than the guys who can win on the street courses and road courses, it seems, because a lot of them don't have the experience, I guess, in the oval stuff, and it's a different beast in IndyCar for sure. So I don't know. This is what I'm torn on again, much like the Dixon one. I think so far they've been pretty good with at least these first 2. The line's right where you think it should be, right? Because if it's 1.5, you're taking the over. 2.5, that's where you're like, man, do you go over? Do you go under? I think I'm kind of leaning towards the over. I think maybe the trajectory continues going forward. Being the number 1 guy at Andretti, being able to win on an oval now, I think is huge. He's been really good on the street courses in particular too. And again, the plus money side of it again, me and liking plus money, Rod. So despite having one fan that makes me never want to root for Kyle Kirkwood, I will take him over at plus 110.
Well, so my big thing is that if you look at his career trajectory, it's actually on the up, right? He finished 24th in the standings in his rookie season, 11th, 7th, 4th. Like you said, he's just basically been a riser. And in those years, in 2020, he didn't get a win in 17 races. In 2023, he ended up winning 2. And then 2024, he was held winless. But last year, he broke through with those 3 wins. And I mean, again, we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room in a second, but if one or more of those wins are surrendered, he stands to pick up at least another one of those, and maybe he does miss out on a win he got last year. But I think you're right. I think he's had a really solid season last year, and he's just going to build on that. having the ability to now be, like you said, that kind of stable driver in the garage with the new guys in there. New guy, he's old too, but the new face.
Peeking ahead to Will Power being at 1.5, which we'll have that conversation in a minute. If they think Will Power could potentially win 2 races, Kirkwood is winning 3 races. So I'm the more I think about it and look at it, give me Kirkwood on the over 2.5, especially a plus 110. Again, another great parlay piece or whatever you want to throw in there. I do like the over on Kirkwood. I think he is a very good young driver that's quickly kind of burst onto the scene, and he did have those 2 wins and then go winless. But I think getting back on it, winning 3 last year, he's kind of settling in, and he's going to be the number 1 guy over there. So I like the over.
Well, my thing is this too, right? And when we talk about the wealth distribution in IndyCar versus NASCAR, obviously there are drivers that are good in certain places. And then there are those drivers like the Zane Smiths of the world that'll pop up and win a race. And next year, you don't really factor that in to your computations. And that was a lot like with Christian Rasmussen, right? Last year came up and win Milwaukee. I with an average finish of 14.3, I don't think he's going to jump up and get a win in Milwaukee again. So, you distribute those pop-up wins and say, all right, well, then we think somebody can pick up that win here or somebody can pick up that win there, right? So, yeah, I mean, with an extra win on the table, I feel like you can give it to a guy like Kyle Kirkwood and be good with it.
Yeah, completely agree.
All right, then let's move our attention to Pato O'Ward. Pato O'Ward, the second place driver in the standings last year. 2 races. He won 6 podiums, 3 pole positions, by the way. But I tell you what's crazy is that when you look at the overall points for these guys, Alex Palou had 711 points. Pato O'Ward had 515 points. So it's just a little frustrating to be Pato O'Ward because
he's dead already. Just leave him alone.
I know, right? Beating the drum for him.
Yeah. Oof.
But
beat the shit out of everybody last year. It's crazy.
2.5 wins is what Pato O'Ward is projected at. The over plus 110, the under minus 140. The books sure love their minus 140s, don't they?
They certainly do, Rod. Man, this is another one. I actually really like the over on this for Pato O'Ward. I know only got to 2 last year. I don't think Palou is going to get back to 8 this year. I think that these guys are close. Again, it's not that Palou can't do it. He's clearly the best driver. He's clearly got the best car. Like, everything is going good. He's won 4 championships in he's got 5 full-time seasons, I think, and he's got 4 championships already. Like, dude is legit. But I think there is going to be some wins out there to give back. And Pato O'Ward, I mean, the next best guy on the season last year. Obviously, it wasn't even close to what Palou did. But I feel like, McLaren, much like they have in F1, they've really settled into, okay, these are our drivers going forward, right? O'Ward is clearly their 1 guy. And I think they're just going to continue to build as they have been. And I think that their trajectory is also on the up. So I like Pato O'Ward to get 3 wins next year. And again, the plus money side of things, I'll take it.
Well, yeah, he did have 6 podiums last year. 2nd place at Thermal, obviously no longer on the schedule. 2nd place at the Indy GP, 2nd place at Gateway. So, knocking on the door to some of those wins, those possible wins. Got beat by Palou at the Thermal Club. Got beat by Palou at the Grand Prix over there in Indy. So, I mean, yeah, you want to talk about getting just ever so close.
You flip one of those results, and he's got 3 wins, and that's all it takes. So, and I think that he will get that this year.
Yep, Pato O'Ward still with Arrow McLaren in that 5 car. So, yeah, still familiar territory, still for him to be able to kind of just enjoy the home cooking of Arrow McLaren. And, yeah, like you said, I mean, we'll talk about him after the break, but I think that the guy that's going to vacate a few wins, one of those
the books do too. I mean, the number's not set at 8 again. So,
yeah, no, it's not. Like we've seen with Max Verstappen. Remember that year when you set at what was it set at 10?
No, I think he was set at 10, and he won 22 races.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. That was not even close. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we will start talking about the elephant in the room, and get that out of the way. But first, let me tell you about our friends over at NoVig. We're brought to you by NoVig. NoVig is America's #1 sports prediction market. With NoVig, you are getting the best prices. do not believe me, let's take a look at some of the hot. I love this little hot button right here. Coastal Carolina is live right now against Louisiana Tech, so you can do that. Actually, Coastal Carolina is down 14-20. They're still giving you plus 5.5 for Coastal Carolina if you think they can come back in the last 4 minutes of the third quarter into that bowl. How about Tennessee and Illinois? Today, later on, they're giving you minus 2.5 for Tennessee at minus 113. So you can take that as well. Lots of great stuff on the up and up for Novig and a lot of great prices as well. Download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 when you use the promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Rhythm has crushed the NFL this season, especially on props. Been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 and more schools, Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night, which, like your favorite drink of choice, pairs nicely with the daily TCE shows with Colby, Mac, Noah. Every game, you are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. So many sports in the holidays, it makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on anything else but that. Big game this weekend for the San Francisco 49ers, the 1 seed on the line against the hated Seattle Seahawks. A.J. Barner, tight end for those Seahawks. The Rhythm model is giving us over 36.5 receiving yards at minus 114 for A.J. Barner. He's been over this in the last 2 games. Oh, and if you watched any bit of the last game between the Bears and the Niners, that was just a tight end bonanza. Colston Loveland, 94 receiving yards against them last week. So stands a reason that A.J. Barner can get there as well this week. Hate it, but whatever. We'll take it. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm. Use promo code SGPN25. I, for one, will be watching with bated breath. That's a Saturday night game, too. That's going to be fun, that Niners-Seahawks game.
Yeah, that might be game of the week, really, because that's for the NFC West. That's for the number 1 seed. It's for a bye. If the 49ers get that, then they could go all the way to the Super Bowl through their stadium, which is in the Super Bowl. And those are 2 really good teams. So I am a holder of a 40-1 San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl ticket, Rod. So
I love you for that.
I will be rooting for a Patriots 80-1, which I have, and a 49ers 40-1 Super Bowl because, that'd be good for the show, obviously. And, that'd be good for my futures tickets.
I tell you what, if the Niners and the Patriots do end up meeting each other in the Super Bowl, you fly out here. You can stay at my house. We will find a way to sneak into the Levi Stadium and watch that game, even if we have to put ourselves on drones and fly ourselves over it.
We could find our way in, Rod.
We can.
And we will document the whole thing and turn it into a television movie.
That'd be so much fun. All right. Speaking of turning things into television movies, Alex Palou probably wishes that they could turn the 2025 season into a movie. 4.5 wins. The champion of last year's IndyCar season, 8 races won, just an absolute dominant performance by Alex Palou. Didn't look back. When did he have it locked up? He had the championship locked up with
I want to say there was, I think it was the third to last race. I think he went into the final 2 races with nothing. I mean, like you mentioned, it was well over, I think, 150 points. So it really was by quite a bit that he had it locked up. Like we mentioned, 4th championship, and I don't even remember in 2020. Yeah, I think he did run a full season with Dale Coyne before he went to Ganassi, but then it's just been, 2021 when he went to Ganassi, it's been championship after championship after championship with 1 year in there where he didn't win it.
Yeah, if there's ever a comparison to be made to Max Verstappen, Palou is definitely that driver to be made. About Max Verstappen because he is just that dominant of a driver, and he's been that way. So 4.5 is the projection that he set at. The over at minus 165. So, I mean, essentially juiced to the point where you really got to make it work for you.
If you're taking the over, you really have to put it in a parlay with something else. This is interesting because, you look back at his career and what a great dominant season he just had, and he got all these wins. And, 8, obviously, and they've only set it at 4.5. So you think, oh, that's got to be the over, right? But you look back through his career, 3-21, won in 22. He won 5 in 23. So, okay, here we go, right? But then he regressed back to just 2 in 2024, despite winning the championship and having a great season. He only won 2 races. And then last year, obviously, he goes off, he wins 8. Now, I think a lot of that, honestly, you can contribute to Penske not being as competitive as they normally are and continually shooting themselves in the foot and having problem after problem, because it opened up a lot more races for him to just go out and be the guy, right? So that's not going to be there this year. I think Penske will be back with their drivers and chances to win. Obviously 8, I think, is a lot, and that's why they don't have it set so high. But can he get back to 5? I don't think it's as simple as, of course he does, because he's been dominating. Because even though, yes, he's been dominating, winning the standings, as we know, in the old NASCAR format, in the IndyCar format, you don't have to win races to win championships, much like he's proven, right, by winning less races, only 2 races in 24, and taking home championships. He's very good at being consistent, right? He's always going to be in the mix. He's always going to points race. That doesn't necessarily translate into wins. So does he get back to 5? I don't think it's as simple as, of course he does, because he won 8 last year, Rob.
Well, and so if you look back through the history of a 2020 season, how rare is it for somebody to win more than 4.5 races? Obviously, it didn't happen last year, right? Nobody won more than 3. Will Power and Pato O'Ward shared that distinction. But in 2023, it was Alex Palou that won 5 races in that season. Before that, Josef Newgarden won 5 in 2022. 2021, Alex Palou and Colton Herta led the way with 3 wins apiece. And then in the 2020 season, Scott Dixon won 4 races. So it's not as if people are winning 5 races season after season, right? It's even in 2019, it was a 4-win season for Josef Newgarden that led the way in that year too. So only twice since 2019 has it happened.
Yeah, and if you break it down as to what we've done so far, right? 17 races. Again, it's only 17 races to get to 5. That's almost a third of the season you're winning races. We've already, I at least have given Kirkwood 3. I've given O'Ward 3. That's 6 races now. So if you give Palou 5, then that's 11 of the races already taken up. We haven't talked about any of the Penske guys. There's other guys that can win races, right? We see people pop up. The Indy 500 is always open to somebody else winning. That's not, a traditional week in, week out winner or however you want to look at it. So I don't think it's a shoo-in that Alex Palou gets to 5 wins again. And at plus 135 on the under, I think that the under might be the way to go on this bet, because it's just as good as he's been and as dominant of a season as he just had. Getting back to 5 again is going to be tough. Obviously, he's still young in his career. We don't have a ton of years to look at, but this was the, only the second time he'd gotten to a number that big. I'm going to go, or not. Did he have 5-win season? No, he didn't. He just had the 3-win season, right?
No, he had 5.
No, he won 5. Yeah, he did win 5 in 23. And if if he's an every other guy, Rod, if he's an odd year guy, he won 3 in 21, he won 5 in 23, and he won 8 in 25. So maybe we're on a trend here. It's not necessarily the championship, but it's winning races. Give me the under on Alex Palou. I think plus 135, you're getting the better number. And I just don't think it's a shoe-in. I think, championship favorite again. We talked about those odds a couple of weeks ago. He's minus 200, I think, and should be the massive favorite for a reason. But in IndyCar, you don't have to win races to be the champion, and he's proven that multiple times already. Give me the under on Alex Palou.
For those of you stat folks that love their graphs, you take the wins and you kind of put, and then you see the 8 is the outlier, and then everything else is kind of grouped down the center. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like 5 wins is a tall task because you don't see it very often in a season. Yeah, Alex Palou has been one of them to do it, but again, these teams, when a driver has a dominant season like that, especially in NASCAR, because you saw it with Kyle Larson, right? He had all those wins in that season. Come back the next season, the field caught up to him, and that's what happens with racing, right? It's all these singular events that take place, and these teams learn from it, and they learn to not let it happen again. So I'm with you on the under, because 1, it's a tough task, and 2, you're winning it until he wins 5, right? So it could take all year, and you're holding that ticket and you're sweating it till the end, but yeah, you're still holding it till the end.
And, you know, like you just look at this season, how great it was. The Penske part of things. He won the Indy 500. That obviously is huge. That's not something you can just pencil in somebody like, it's not, oh, you're going to Indy, he's going to win again. Like, that is a race where there's so many guys who can win. It's such a hard race to win, the hardest race on the IndyCar schedule to win by far, in my opinion. So that's not one. You know, he won one at Iowa, you know, which Josef Newgarden traditionally had owned, where they're not even going back there. I think those are his only oval wins. He's not been a big oval guy. Took advantage of a down year from Penske, but is he going to be able to get back to oval wins this year? I don't know. So yeah, I am in on the under, as shocking as it may seem. And it's not, again, we're not calling, oh, he's going to have a bad season, these guys don't know nothing about IndyCar. It's not, he's going to be the champion, right? We pretty much, I mean, we gave you some other bets to place because you want to have bets on it, but he's likely the champion, but that doesn't mean he wins 5 races.
Well, and again, if you look at it, it's just almost statistically impossible to follow that up again. It just hasn't happened. And for you to say, well, that's a definite sure, okay, but show me your work. Show me where that's going to happen.
Again, you know, sometimes people maybe just see the clips or whatever, and they don't fully understand the betting things, and it's like, oh, well, he's not going to win. Like, well, you know, we had that with, I think it was Charles Leclerc in the F1. He's not going to win. What horrible advice. Like, well, he's 25-1. He's not supposed to win. That's not that. Yes, obviously he's not likely to win, but you have to factor in the number. So if you're looking at minus 165, that's a good chunk on the, you know, he's very much favored to get to 5, right? You're getting a better deal at the plus 135. You're calling your shot. So if you factor in that as well, you know, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not going to be surprised at all if he wins 5 races. I'm just going to bet on him winning 4.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to Josef Newgarden, a guy who's always in contention for a championship. Very disappointed in last season. A 12th place finish in the standings, only 1 win, 3 podium finishes for what is one of the better IndyCar drivers in the entire series. Guy owns Indianapolis, owns ovals, like just essentially is one of those guys, right? Last year just had a very down year. It was the first time since the 2016 season that he hadn't won at least 2 races on the year. His number is set at 2.5, the over at plus 140, the under at minus 170. Cody, the books really leaning toward him not winning 3 races this season, but I feel like you, my friend, are bullish on Josef Newgarden.
Insane to me that the under is that much. If there is one bet I'm placing on this show with the win totals, it is Josef Newgarden over 2.5 wins. I think that last year is just an outlier. You have to throw last year out for the entire Penske team. Nothing went their way. Everything went wrong. And you have to throw it out. You come back into this year. Josef Newgarden is the king of ovals, right? Yes, Iowa's not on the schedule. That's 2 easy wins for him that you take off. That's too bad, right? But there are other ovals on the thing. They're going to Milwaukee, I believe, twice. You got the Phoenix in there. Indy, of course, he's won multiple times here recently. Josef Newgarden loves those. Oh, but guess what? He's good at everywhere. He can win on street courses. He can win on road courses. He is going to get to 3 wins this year. And especially if Palou is not winning 8 and not even winning 5, there are wins out here to be had for a guy like Josef Newgarden. You think about Colton Herta leaving, not that he was winning a ton of races, but certainly was capable of it and had won some races, right? I think that this is just too much of an overreaction to Penske had a really, really, really bad year. Like everything that could go wrong for that entire team, for him, for Scotty, for Will, it all just went wrong. And hopefully they got it all out of their system, but there's no way they come back and have another bad year like that this year. They're going to figure it out. He's going to get it done. He's an extremely talented driver, especially on the ovals. He's clearly head and shoulders above everyone else when it comes to the ovals. So yeah, I love this. And you're getting the plus 140 side of things on the over. Let's fucking go. This is my favorite bet by far in this entire show.
Yeah, I do think he bounces back and has a much better season. Again, in 2024, he had 2 wins, but before that, 4, 5, 2, 4, 4, 3, 4, right? So 2017 was
a lot
4,
of 4s and 3s in there, Rob.
A lot of 4, 3, 4. Oh no, that's not the right thing. But
who knows?
No,
maybe this year will have 6 or 7. You never know.
Could have 6, 7. That's the potential for him. Yeah, I feel like this is a bounce back year for Josef Newgarden. I'm with you. I like the plus 140. It's just so tempting to jump on that. So let's do that. All right, Will Power ends the list here for this one. Will Power, as we know, is now in that 26 Andretti global car alongside of Kyle Kirkwood and Marcus Ericsson. And look, like you said earlier in the show, the books believe that he is not going to win more than one race on the season. His under for 1.5 is set at -185. The over plus 155. Cody, why don't you just give us
at half?
Right?
Just give it to us at a half. Because why? I would take the under and a half. Honestly, I don't think Will Power is going to win a race this year. But yeah, why is it -185 on under 1.5? That's crazy to me. The over, if you're looking for a big number, it's plus 155. If you have the willpower to believe in willpower, but I don't. I just don't. I think another guy that's getting older, he's been around a long time. He's probably he might get a win, right? And maybe that's why they don't want to set it at half, because he's very capable of winning. And maybe he sneaks one in there, but he's not a guy I'm scared week to week is going to go out there and win races. This is obviously just betting a season-long bet at -185 is probably pretty much out of the question, should be. But a great parlay piece, definitely, to toss this in there as the under 1.5, because I just don't see him getting to 2 wins on the year. Not with the Palou's, the Dixons, the Kirkwoods, the O'Wards, the Newgardens that we've talked about, Scotty Mack, who's not even listed on here. There's other guys that are going to get wins. My guy, Christian Lundgaard, he's going to get a couple of wins, Rod. Not Will Power.
Yeah, so only one multiple win season since the 2020 season. He in 2021 had 1 win, 2022, 1 no wins in 2023, 3 in 2024, and then last year the single win. So yeah, again, it's just a new team, new digs, new surroundings. It just doesn't feel like this is going to be a willpower victory. Maybe 1, like you said, maybe that's why they don't want to set it at a half, but definitely not 2.
Yeah, I can see him getting into 1. Switching from Chevy to Honda, what learning curve is there? A new team when he's been with Penske for a really fucking long time, right? There's going to be changes there. Maybe it's a positive. We've seen that before where a guy switches teams and Kyle Busch goes out and wins 3 races in his first year at RCR. It's not out of the question. He's certainly capable of it. 3 wins just a couple of years ago. I don't have the willpower to believe in it.
I am with you on that one as well. Okay, so let's see. We gave Alex Palou 4 wins. Okay, we gave Scott Dixon. Did we give him 2 wins?
You gave him 2. I gave him 1.
All right, so that's 6 for me. And then we said Kyle Kirkwood would win 3, so that's 9. And then we said Pato O'Ward would win at least 3, so that's 12. That leaves 3. 15. So that only leaves 2 more races out there. These 6 drivers have dominated most of the season already. So
we haven't even factored in Scotty Mack
or Christian Lundgaard for that matter.
Or Lundgaard. That's right. Lundgaard's picking up a win. Lundgaard's going to be the Indy 500 winner this year, Rod. So hopefully y'all are betting on that early.
It's crazy. But see, this is why when we talked about how quickly these wins go and get gobbled up, right? It's that fast. These 6 drivers.
That's us giving Palou only 4, which again, like he is a heavy favorite to win 5. So they go quick.
Just like the season, it disappears. I mean, it feels like it's forever because they space them out for a couple months at a time.
They do a good job of dragging it out, but
sure
it goes quick. 17 races is really not that much.
Nope, and especially like we said when we were just sitting here counting them up and dividing them out, it just happens. It happens fast. It comes at you fast. But all right, that'll do it for the win season totals, Cody. I believe that'll pretty much wrap that one up. We don't need to talk about too much more on that end. So to that end, we'll come back tomorrow. We will discuss some NASCAR. We'll talk about the season in review, the 2025 season in review, give you some of our biggest highs, biggest lows, disappointments, folks we liked, folks we didn't like, and yeah, kind of what we looked back on in 2025.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It's good to wrap up 2025, put a bow on it. We're only 33 days now until the Clash. I mean, we're almost there, just a few weeks away. And then hopefully the next couple of weeks are just going to be hardcore, hitting all these future bets that are going to be popping up in the next week here, Rod. So looking forward to it. And looking forward to wrapping up 2025, putting a bow on her and sending it into 2026.
Ricky Stenhouse days away from the Daytona 500. So that'll be be a lot of fun. All right. Well then, Cody, as we bid adieu to everybody out there, let everyone know where they can find you outside of this tiny little box.
Yeah, you follow me over on the X at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. As I mentioned, 6 o'clock Pacific time, I'll be over on Sports Gambling Podcast doing some underdog fantasy best ball drafts. That's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow for putting a bow on the NASCAR season.
4 o'clock Pacific, by the way, for those of you listening. And you could always find it on the YouTube channel.
6 o'clock here. Just this time thing is killing me. 7 o'clock Eastern time. If you're in the mountain time, figure it out.
Go to bed, Grandpa. Get a nap. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow as we put a bow on the 25 season. You can follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Find out everything I'm up to as well there. All right. See you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Until then, let's go racing and let it ride.